It's King Jacquel Martin back with another episode of Whispering to Your Soul. Y'all know I keep it funky. I got some of the most amazing guests that come on my show. This is one of my personal favorites. This is a beautiful young actress that was actually in my movie, Twitter Fingers. Coming soon. Y'all get a chance to check it out, peep the vibes, whatever else. It's a crazy short film that I did at New York Film Academy. So the one, the only, Krista.
Aw, thank you.
How are you doing, darling?
I'm good, thank you.
Tell the audience about you a little bit. Give them a little
Yes.
conversation, a little bio.
Okay, so my name is Krista Nicole, and I go by both Krista Nicole these days, just to differentiate myself from other Krista Nicoles.
Understandable.
I am born and raised in Los Angeles, California, which, you know, has a lot to do with my foundation, you know, just the things that I've learned being street smart, as well as just being very diverse, growing up in different areas, different diverse areas.
Yeah.
And kind of put me on my journey, which ultimately led me to where I am today, which is the passion that I have for seeing people be in the marriage that they're supposed to be in.
Okay. Wow, that's powerful. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful different conversation. I love that you're bringing that to the platform.
Thank you.
First and foremost, I know that you are also an amazing actress.
Thanks. Yeah.
So thank you for being in my film. I appreciate you. It's right. It's really good seeing you again.
Me too.
Let's talk about acting first. What inspired you to want to become an actress?
It was something that was in me as a child.
Okay.
So I was definitely an innate desire to be an actress because I noticed that I had a passion for it back in like 6th grade.
Okay.
So, you know, the path was very easy. I think like when you're called to something, the doors aren't hard to open. So once I got to high school, I was with a big agency. Didn't take it seriously at the time. You know, kind of took it for granted.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I did notice that it was easy to get the jobs for me personally.
Okay.
So, you know, I dipped and dabbed in it for years here and there, you know, and then I got a little bit more serious around 2015, 2016.
Okay.
And then when 2018 hit, that's when I got even more serious. So I started taking it more as a calling than just something that I was good at. So so I started going on this really serious rampage, you know, audition after audition, and landed some jobs. And now I have a movie coming out called JIA.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to be streaming on all networks. That was directed by, let me see if I can think of the name without cheating. That was directed by.
Okay.
What's his name?
We audition for a lot of directors, so sometimes I get it messed up too.
It is.
But shout out to the new movie. Shout out to the new role.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's amazing. So let me ask you something. Yes. What was the moment that made you want to take acting seriously? Because I know you said you kind of took it for granted when you were younger or whatever else. Mm-hmm. What was that life-changing moment that said, hey, no, I really need to take this serious? What was that for you?
To be honest, I think it started... Okay, so I'm divorced now. So before I got divorced, I started to get back into it in church. Okay. And so we had a really dynamic team. We're putting out skits back to back. And I think around that time, I was like, okay, I can't just take this for granted.
Right.
You know, I can't take this gift for granted. So I think it was around that time period, around 2016, 2017. And then when I got divorced, it was on. You know what I mean? There was nothing holding me back. There was no drama in my life that was distracting me from focusing on it. So, because it takes a lot of focus. So I just was able to dive in full force like 2018 and haven't looked back since.
Okay. So, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What is your reason why? Why do you want to be an actress?
I think the gift is the first thing. If God gave me the gift, I don't want to take that for granted. The other thing is, I do believe it's a ministry. I feel like, you know, you can really help people, point them towards God. And I think it's, when it comes to Christian content or anything, it doesn't have to necessarily be in the Christian category. Right. But if it's something that's going to help someone else, I consider it Christian. And I think that there's an element of realness that's not always necessarily there. And I believe in bringing that realism to those type of stories, and I'm good at it. So, you know,
that's something that you have to have
Yeah.
When you're an actor, the trick is not to act.
Right.
You know, the trick is to actually live through the experience of the character, but in your own way. So that way it's believable, because if you're acting it out, it looks crazy on camera.
Yeah.
But when you're actually living through the experience of what's on the paper for your character, that changes it. Because it's not what you say, it's the subtext of what you say.
I get it, yeah.
Did you ever go to acting school?
I did.
What acting school did you go to?
Oh my God, you're hitting me with questions. Oh my God. It was during 2020.
Okay.
And oh my God, I hope she doesn't kill me for this.
It's okay.
But she was an amazing teacher.
Okay.
I've done a few acting schools. I know one was Wells, Mr. Wells, but then there was another one.
Wells, that's good enough right there.
Yeah.
That's a vibe. Shout out to that school or whatever else, because I'll tell you this, she is a brilliant actress for sure. What do you want people to take away from you as an actress? Like, how do you want to inspire people?
How do I want to inspire them? I would say I want to show them that you can go deep and still be, a believer and a Christian, and you can do this if God has called you to it. You don't have to cut corners, and you don't have to compromise yourself or your soul or your spirit. If it's for you, it's for you, and you can go, the way that He wants you to go to get to it.
Yeah.
The other thing is bring the realness. Like, when I say bring the realness, means if you're playing, for example, like a prostitute or someone on drugs, or just any person with like a hardcore life, bring it. Just don't hold back because you're Christian. You know what I'm saying? If you gotta cuss, you gotta cuss to make it more real. And that,
I understand.
They hold back because of religious people, but don't, because people will relate to that character the more you are.
I remember in my film, A War on Friendly Grounds. Shout out to my boy Jimmy Lee. Jimmy Lee is one of the most amazing people or person that I know, right? This is my brother, so I don't want nobody to try to take anything wrong, but Jimmy Lee had to play the character of a racist officer. And he had to use racial slurs and racial terms. And he is a brilliant actor, but he didn't want to say it. And I said, I understand that you're not racist. I understand that you're an amazing person and you're a friend of mine. But I can't allow you or our friendship, if you're going to play this role, to cheat the experience for those people who had to really live through it, including myself.
I hear you.
Because you are a representation of someone's actual experience. And in this story, because it was about me being wrongfully assaulted, you have to tell the truth about what I lived so people can understand. So I get it when you say, and shout out to Jimmy Lee, you did a phenomenal job. We won so many awards with A War on Friendly Grounds. I just want to shout you out, brother. I love you. You are so talented. I can't wait to continuously see you on the big screen, TV, commercials, everything. The world is your oyster. I wish nothing but the best for you. But you have to tell the truth. That is your job. That is your responsibility, is to live through that experience authentically, And so I want to commend you for doing that.
Thank you.
Because sometimes people do let religion, or let certain things, not even religion, just let certain things get in their way. But I believe personally that limits you as an actor or an actress, or that can limit you in your personal space as well, which is okay. Because if you want those certain type of boundaries, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to dive into this thing called art, there are certain things that will challenge you as a person and as a mindset, because you have to tell someone else's truth. So as an actress, I know you go through a lot of auditions. I know you've had a lot of headshots, because we go through that all the time. I know you've been told no a lot on different roles. So what motivates you? What keeps you going past all the no's?
It doesn't bother me, because I feel like what's for you is for you. Simply put.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So if I didn't get it, then I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, so there's another role that's for me.
Right.
Yeah. So I never internalize it or take it personal.
Yes.
It's a very detached process because, you know, you don't attach your emotions to every single audition.
Come
you
on
just
now.
kind of,
Come on now.
you're like, okay, here I am, take it or leave it, because in another part of that is you may not fit the part. Just because they see your headshot and they give you the chance doesn't necessarily mean that you
fit the vision of the director, you know, because sometimes the director doesn't know what he's looking for until he sees it.
Yep.
You know,
it's true.
that's very true.
Yeah.
I love that you said it. Simply put, what's for me is for me.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lesson for actors out there. It's okay you didn't get the part, and you don't have to hate on the person that did get the part. It just wasn't your turn. So continue to prep, so when your turn does come, you're ready. And cheer for others, because you know when it is your turn, you're going to want someone to cheer for you. So if you don't book, continue to do the work, continue to build the muscle, continue to stay disciplined, so that way when it is your time, you can handle everything that comes with getting the role. Because it's one thing to book a role. It's one thing to get in the room. It's another thing to stay in the room.
Yes.
It's one thing to book the role. It's another thing to, when it shows on television or film or whatever you book, it's another thing to make sure you did what you were supposed to do while you were doing it.
Right.
You know,
right.
when you're on screen. So
that's
that's really important as far as booking. Here's a good question. If you could play anybody in history, who would you want to play?
Whitney Houston.
I do that answer.
Whitney Houston.
Yeah, may she rest in power and love too, as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Angela Davis.
Okay.
He's some powerful, strong time period.
Yes.
And I would say Janet. Keep it real.
Miss
Love
Jackson.
to play Janet. That's like, that would be a nice one.
Me, I always wanted to play Martin Luther King.
I hear that.
I think I would smoke.
Oh, you would.
Oh my God, I believe I would
100%.
smoke a Martin Luther King role. Not once. I'm going.
Right.
Hey, exclusive. You heard it right here first on Whispering to Your Soul.
Yeah.
I promise you, I will play Martin Luther King. Telling you that right now.
That's right.
Tupac might be too late. When I was younger, I had always wanted to play Pac. But shout out to my boy, industry threat, Jeffrey A. Koff, who actually booked the Tupac role in the Death Row Chronicles. Shout out to my brother. I'm proud of you. You did a great job. You're amazing. You're talented. Always, proud of you for booking that and just doing your best and killing that role. That was a role, but I always wanted to play Pac, and I always wanted to play Martin Luther King. I just feel like I know in my spirit that's something that's going to happen in time, in the near future, whatever else. And I believe every no you get prepares you for the yes. So I appreciate the no's.
I agree.
I appreciate the no's. And I know that might sound crazy, but if I would have got what I wanted before I was prepared to get it, I wouldn't know how to handle it. If I would have got what I wanted before I was ready to get it, that same thing that I was asking for could be the same thing that would have destroyed me. So I'm grateful for the no's.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we miss out on that.
Right.
I'm super grateful for the no's,
Yeah.
because the no's actually help prepare me for my yes.
Yes.
And
So true.
as an actor, you always want to get continuous work. You always want to be on set, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my question is, what are you doing in the meantime?
Right.
A young lady told me that you could tell how successful you want to be with what you do in your downtime.
Yeah. It's very true.
So when you're not booking a role, when you're not on set, how do you keep sharp? How do you, keep yourself going? How do you stay motivated? What are the things that you do to prepare for the booking that you want?
Yes. I would say outside of auditioning, because I really look at auditioning as practice, for sure.
Yep.
It's always extra practice. But I would say I definitely enjoy watching really good acting. So I'll rewatch a whole series like Snowfall.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
They went crazy in Snowfall. Shout out to the Snowfall cast. Y'all did that. I'll beat this shit.
Right.
Break. And I'll be damned if I let another nigga tear it down just because I don't like the way he talk.
Right.
I could really hit that role if I really did. I was just joking right there. Nah.
Right, on the spot. Right? But yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah,
that's my thing. Just really studying really, really good actors.
Yeah.
Studying good actors, and it's not just for the study of what they're actually doing, but also motivation. Keeping it in front of you of what you're going for, you know?
I love that.
Those deep roles.
I remember, shout out to the big bro, Denzel Washington. I remember being on set with Denzel on the Roman J. Israel movie.
Yeah.
Denzel is not a good actor. He is brilliant.
I hear that.
And the reason why he's brilliant is because of his work ethic. Like, I come on set, I'm laughing, I'm joking, I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
But then I say I want to be in the position of what Denzel is doing.
Right.
Well, do you have a Denzel work ethic?
I hear you.
So I had to change my mindset when I saw greatness in front of me.
Yeah.
It's not that he's a better human being.
Right.
It's that he just takes his craft so serious and he's all in.
Yes.
So he had a scene that he had to do when he was calling out, guard, right? I remember Denzel reading his script, standing up, repeating the script to himself, ready, go in and do the take. Yeah. Come back, didn't say nothing to nobody, sat back down, read his script, set a script, ready, went back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, he did that like maybe 10, 15 times.
Yeah.
Like a machine.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that he did that. Or I'm so grateful that I got to witness why he's great.
I hear you.
So now when I get on set, guess what I do? Read my line, say it to myself, ready.
Yeah.
Read my line, say it to myself, ready. I don't need to do, I don't want to, one thing that Denzel said, right? He said, they don't want the next Denzel.
Right.
Plus you can't be me anyway.
That part.
They want the first you.
Right.
And are you ready to be you? Are you the best version of you? Have you been preparing yourself to be you? Because once you're you and you own you and you understand your talent, and not only the talent, but you understand the business. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if you don't understand the business, then the talent has no show.
Right.
That's why it's called show business. The more you understand the business, the more you can show off your talents. But if you only have the talents and you have no business, you don't understand the business, then no one's going to see it.
That's true.
He said, don't try to be someone else. Learn from everyone else. Learn while they're a return on investment. And I just thought it was so brilliant, so amazing.
Yeah.
Big bro, I swear to God, I promise you I'm going to work with you one day. I'm manifesting it, speaking it into existence. Because if I can go from being in the military to being on set and watching you do your craft, just as background, just as stand and work background or whatever else, I promise you we're going to share the screen one day because I know my talent is like that. And my talent is better because I got to watch you showcase your talent.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
So
So when you say you study the art or you study good actors, I think that's a beautiful thing because it's preparation.
Yeah.
It's iron and sharpening iron
Yeah.
because you can't say you want to be great if you don't study the greats.
Right.
So I appreciate you sharing that. So all you young actors out there or actors right now, I don't care where you at in your age of acting, there's nothing wrong with sharpening that tool. There's nothing wrong with doing another monologue. There's nothing wrong with practicing the repetition of the repetition. There's nothing wrong with watching great actors on screen. There's nothing wrong with doing reenactments, doing skits, doing theater. Make sure that you are sharpening what you say you want instead of just saying what you want. Because the more you do what you want, there's no way you can't get better at it. So when that door does open, you're at your best. Because you've been doing it when no one was watching.
That's it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Also, I know that you've been dabbling in writing. I know you're an author now.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So what inspired you to become an author? What inspired, because I know you're still acting, what inspired you to become an author?
Honestly, it's going to shock you.
Okay.
I wasn't inspired.
Ooh.
Real talk. Like, I wasn't inspired.
Yeah.
One day, I was visiting my brother on a holiday, and I had this intrusive thought about a concept. It wasn't a book in my head. I wasn't a writer in my mind. It was just an intrusive thought about a concept. And I was so blown away. I was like, and I just started writing it down. Like immediately, on the spot, on an iPad, on his couch, like writing down everything that was coming to me in that moment.
Yeah.
From there, it just evolved into chapters.
Wow.
And so I had this basically kind of like a skeleton where I had all the chapters.
Okay.
This is like in the first few months, I had all the chapters. This is so unbelievably supernatural to me because it never changed.
Okay.
Like it's been 7 years. It never changed. So as I kept getting thoughts, kept getting God inspired thoughts about this topic.
Okay.
The chapters just started fattening up.
Right.
So I guess at some point I realized I was writing a book, but I didn't say, you know what, I think I'm gonna get this author thing going.
Okay.
It was never a moment like that. It just started from an intrusive thought that just led to the completion of the book.
That's dope. How long did it take you to complete your book?
7 years.
7 years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the title of your book?
It's God's Divine Plans for Marriage, a guide to understanding people as wants, needs, and desires.
Hold on, we got to get it closer for that. Say that to the camera right there. Say that to the camera right there. Right there.
It's called God's Divine Plans for Marriage, a guide to understanding people as wants, needs, and desires.
Love that. First of all, that's a powerful title.
Thank you.
Second of all, what inspired that?
Yeah. The inspiration kind of came as I went, as I was going through this journey and this process.
Okay.
Because as I started to see what God was doing through me, through this writing about really discovering and identifying His will when it comes to marriage. Like, we know that there's a plan for our careers. We know there's a plan for God to eventually make us parents. We know there's a plan for, where He might want us to live, but we never consider the fact that He has a plan already set in motion towards marriage.
Okay.
So that's kind of the premise of the book, and I'll get into what it's based on, but it's to discover what that plan is.
Okay.
Pretty much. And if you understand people and the different things that He gave me in the book, which is a variety of different topics, which is preparation, pursuit, counterfeits, different types of counterfeits, different types of pursuits, just understanding the power of all decision making, past, present, and future. If you understand certain elements that I cover in this book, it will definitely help you to discover what that plan is, because it's already a plan that's set, and that's it. We just got to keep living to experience it.
Well, that's dope. As a reader of your book, or a listener, if you have an audiobook just as well from the book, what would you want me to take away from it as a young man?
Good question. I would say,
this is for the fellas, so listen up. This is for the fellas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say to really, if needed, I should say, but I guess we all need this, but transform. Transform, there's no shortcuts to transforming. You have to transform by the renewing of your mind. The more you transform to going from the world's way of doing things to God's way of doing things, you are actually already in the will towards the marriage that He has for you, and you want that.
Love that.
You don't want to rush the pace. You don't want to get with someone just because. You don't want to go off of all the noise that's out there when it comes to how to choose a woman. You don't want to...
Say that again for the people in the back of the church.
Yeah, right. You don't want to go off of all the noise that's out there about advice to pick a woman.
Okay.
Because there's a lot.
And that's
a whole nother discussion. But, to really know that, you're His son and He wants the best for you.
Right.
And that wife is His daughter, and He wants the best for her. So He's going to bring you together, but the best way to discover that is to walk in His ways.
Love that.
Yeah, and you'll discover it.
So if a young lady was listening right now, what would you want her to take away from your book?
Yeah, similar, same thing, but just allow God to reform you. Allow God to shape you, and don't listen to ungodly advice. Don't listen to cultural, popular advice. It's there because we have we have an adversary, we have an enemy that does not want you in the will of God for marriage. So it's out there with a purpose, but not to consume all of that.
Okay.
And to really for starters, because it's one thing to know God and have a relationship with him, and so kind of what to do, how to navigate. But if you're not there yet, to just consume things that are more in line with his ways. Okay. Because if you consume those things, aka my book, if you consume his understanding and learning that there is a different way to not only be as a person, but also to help lead you to your man of God that he's already in God's plan for you, then you'll experience it. You'll experience the beauty of it, experience what he designed it to be. You won't have to go through a bunch of heartache and pain, all of that stuff, listening to bad advice, to go after mistake after mistake, trial after trial, error after error. You don't have to do all of that. You don't have to go through a whole bunch of bad to get to the good, contrary to belief. Yeah. So just, the more you consume, okay, he thinks like this based on what the word says. So, let me start to adapt that way. Right. Let me start to adapt this way of how God is telling us to act. Let me adopt this way. Let me adopt that way. And the more you adopt his ways, you're already on that path. Okay. To a man of God that you want to be with. And he's going to change you. He's going to transform you. He's going to mold and shape you. This book is not about, you got to be holier than now to get what God has for you. This book is about being able to self-reflect and say, okay, and there's nothing wrong with it. I've been there personally. Okay, the world thinks like this about, for example, the world thinks like this when it comes to choosing something that you're familiar with. Mm-hmm. But God says, he's going to bring you something that's rare. Okay, the world thinks like this when it comes to the way we just make decisions, the origin of decisions. The world says, follow your emotions, but God is like, follow me, follow my purpose, be purpose driven versus emotionally driven. Mm-hmm. So there are all these little things, there's all these topics that I cover to really mold and shape your character. It's a very non-judgmental book because I'm a non-judgmental person. So and I think that has a lot to do with my past. I don't have a squeaky clean past. So, I see people that this book can benefit as people that either I was at one point or, just people, period, like that are just in 2025 living out life.
Listen, because 2025
is rough.
It ain't been no joke, but it's a beautiful thing that we hear. You know what I'm talking about? So let me ask you this. What is a misconception about you?
Misconception? I don't know, because I don't know what people think about me.
You stay in your life.
Like, I'm really beautiful. I could care less, to be honest.
I like that.
But yeah, so.
How did you get there? Because a lot of people care what other people think.
Yeah.
How did you get into the place of a safe space of, I'm okay with just being authentically me, and it's okay what you think about me because I have no control over it anyway. Right. But it's not, what I'm not going to do is allow you to steal my joy.
Yeah.
How did you get into that place?
Yeah, I touch on that a little bit in the book when I talk about my past and not having any shame. And it was something that I just have had even before my relationship with God. Like, I just always been that way, which is a supernatural thing to me. But I will say that when you're confident in who you are because of your relationship with God, there's no shortcuts to me. It's like if he said that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, nothing can take that away. If he says that, I'm his daughter and, I am royalty and, he made me that, I'm his heart. There's nothing that can really impact you. So regardless of what anybody says online, on, in little gossip groups, little cliques, whatever it is, it has no bearing when you stay close to him. And I'm gonna just be honest, like that's just kind of been it. I've been one of those people that could have been subjected to other people's opinions throughout my life, my
Right.
whole life. And I'm sure that's a lot of people's stories. But
Right.
from going from being a promiscuous teen where you got people talking, it didn't affect me. That was amazing. But at the same time, you know, I still give credit to God for that. Then once I got to know him, I'm a teenage mom at that point. You know what I mean? So, you know, going through college, people are, you know, I'm pretty sure they had a lot to say when you're around a bunch of other 18, 19-year-olds with no children and you're a statistic, and this was a different time period. This is when it was probably frowned upon a little bit more.
Right.
You know,
right,
so,
right.
you know,
Times have changed.
Yeah. So, you know, it didn't impact me then. Then I went through a very tumultuous marriage, and I noticed now I'm in church, and now I notice people have a lot to say about me after the divorce. You know, due to, you know, rumors spread, whatever. It never affected me. It never affected me. Like, and I don't take credit for that. I don't think that was in my own strength. I think it's because I'm so close to God that it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nothing matters. So there's always going to be things that happen in life where people are going to try to judge you, put you in a box. I mean, I had to start completely over after my divorce. So I had to get on assistance and, you know, rent a room for a season, rent a room for like a half a year before I got my next place. All kinds of stuff. Could care less. I just could care less, but I knew they were talking.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, I knew who I was.
You know, I always like to say,
Yeah.
Thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
That part.
You know, and you can't have a testimony without a test.
Yeah.
And you got to pass your test in order to get to the happiness. Testimony means happiness. So you got to pass the test of your life to get to the happinesses in your life. So how do you handle your storms? What do you do? Do you journal? Do you listen to music? Do you work out? What do you do when you're going in the midst of your storms? How do you endure them?
That's good. Because there's been a lot of storms.
Yeah.
A lot of storms. And I would say it changes. It has changed over time. Like, I think in the very, very beginning, let's say when I'm going through a lot of drama when I was married, I would have my own little corner. And this ain't all the time. Like, I went through a time in my marriage where, you know, I was heavily under the influence. I'm talking drugs, everything. So that wasn't the only device, you know, that wasn't the only method. You know what I mean? I'm just going to be honest. But the times when I wasn't influenced by that or into that, I was, you know, I had a little closet, and I would go in that closet and just have my me time and my time with God. And I would, dancing is my biggest, one of my biggest tools that I would say no one would really know about me unless they went to church with me for 20 years when I was at the church I was at for 20 years. But yeah, I did a lot of praise dancing, but to this day, that's still my anchor that gets me through certain things. But to be transparent, that's not something I automatically go to today.
Right.
So, you know, but I know it's there. I know it's in the toolbox. Then there's times when, you know, a trusted friend, you know what I mean? I have a trusted girlfriend. I always have a very close female pastor that I could go to when it's just really rough.
Okay.
You know, and she's, you know, she's married, so I don't go to her on a day-to-day, but I definitely go to her when I get to that spot where it's like, okay, I can't go no further by myself.
Yeah.
And then, you know, there's times when it's just me.
Yeah.
There's nobody to reach out to.
Because sometimes you just have those moments where all you can do is cry. And sometimes people think crying is a bad thing, but it's actually therapeutic. It's actually detoxing. It's actually a way to release. It's actually a way to actually heal. It's actually a way to water yourself. So never be ashamed, especially men. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with having your little prayer moment or your little prayer closet or your little place that you got to go. And I don't care if it's to the top of a hill or you go to the beach or you just go on a long walk or you just go in a closet or you just lock yourself in a room where you just got to let it out and release all that tension, because it's going to come out either way. Either way, it's going to come out in a negative way or it's going to come out in a positive way. And what I mean by that is I might be showing my age with this one, but remember those cartoons back in the day with Tom and Jerry, and then you have like you be clearing a plate full of dishes, and then all it took was one feather to land on top, and everything would fall apart.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like that's how sometimes we are with our emotions. You know, all it takes is one thing to set us off. Now, normally, if we wasn't hurting the way we was hurting, no, it's just a feather, no big deal.
Right.
But because we've been holding on and compartmentalizing things for so long, all it took was one thing to set us off, and sometimes all it takes is one mistake to change our life forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I say, learn how to heal now, learn how to deal with problems now, learn how to be okay with not being okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to say I'm hurting. It's okay to say I'm not mentally doing good.
Yeah.
It's okay to get counseling, seek help, find family members, good people, the right people, or a friend to be able to have a safe space. Because you can't trust everybody with your emotions.
Right.
You can't trust everybody with your feelings because some people will weaponize that against you.
Right.
But even if you just got a good 3 to 5, or even if it's just one, to have a place to just scream, yell, cry, whatever you need, journal, write, go work out, listen to music, to find your own therapy, so that way you can have your own place to heal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you can recharge your battery and get back out there and continue moving forward. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because I feel like when you go through the process of growth, I don't care what it is, everything has a process. Even if it's a seed, you put the seed into the ground. The seed has to be watered, it has to be nurtured, and then it has to grow, and then it has to bloom. But guess what? In the process of blooming and growing, you have weeds. A weed's job is to try to kill the plant, is to try to kill the seed. So let's not use a plant, but guess what? Even as a person, you started off as a baby, and then you grew into an adult. Well, guess what? A hater's job is to try to stop you from your growth, to stop you from your dreams. So you're going to have different reasons, seasons, and a harvest time. The question is, where are you in your life to understand that, so you can understand that it's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
It's okay.
Yep, that's real.
Stop getting mad at a hater for being a hater. He's doing what he's supposed to do.
Yep.
You get to own your reaction. You know what I'm working on right now as a person? I'm learning how to master me. I'm learning how to master, it's not what's happening to me, it's how I react to what happens. And once I learn how to master my reaction, you can't steal my peace. You can't have my joy. You know, like, okay. I got a cool one. You know, I'm gonna click on me on this one. I got a cool one. You ever seen Transformers?
Yes.
Okay, Transformers. I bet you've never heard Transformers like this. Shout out to everybody that's watching, you feel me? You never heard Transformers explained like this before, ever in life. You're gonna love me for this one.
Okay.
Transformers. In Transformers, the good guy was an Autobot. The bad guy was a Decepticon.
Okay.
Right? So good guy, Autobot. Bad guy, Decepticon. How did they come up with the word Decepticon? Deception, con, right? So deception and con, you create Decepticon, right? Okay, that's part one. Y'all got that? Y'all with me? Okay, a Decepticon's job was to come to planet Earth and steal all the Energon cubes, right? Okay, cool. Remember Energon cubes. Y'all remember Energon cubes. Y'all remember this, right? Okay, have you ever just been in a good space where everybody was vibing in the room, we all having a good time, we laughing and joking, and it's just like, ah, right? And then it takes one person to come in the room with bad energy. And then when they walk out, the whole mood changes. Okay, cool. Have you ever had somebody deceive you in your life?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had somebody con you in your life?
Yes.
And when they deceived you and they conned you, how did you feel?
Bad.
Felt horrible.
Yeah.
You were no longer the same person.
Yeah.
So they made you feel some type of way.
Right.
So you were no longer yourself, right? So that means you were on autopilot because you were no longer yourself. So you became an Autobot. You were just a person moving in the world on autopilot, right?
Wow.
Okay, cool. Stay with me because it gets better. So an Autobot can never defeat a Decepticon until it learns how to do what?
Transform.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Because when it's in car mode, it really can't fight back like that. You've never seen in the story of Transformers where the Autobots are winning in car mode. They never win in car mode. They have to transform, right? They have to transform to defeat the Autobot.
Right.
So what I'm telling us is we have to stop complaining about Decepticons and learn how to transform. We have to learn how to transform our mind physically, mentally, and spiritually, so that way when the Decepticons in our life come, we know how to handle it. See, you can't steal my joy. You can't steal my peace because I know who I am, and I will transform and I will protect my mind, my heart, my body, my soul, so that way when you enter the space, it don't matter that you're here or not because I know who I am. You can only steal energon because energon is energy. You can only steal energy. You can't. I can give it to you. So what I'm telling y'all right now is stop giving haters your energy. Stop giving people your energy that don't deserve your energy. Whether it's family, your friends, people on the job, people that you walk around with, people in traffic. Stop giving your energy away. It's not the fact that they took it. It's the fact that you gave it away. You allowed it to affect you. Because when you start creating your own boundaries, like you said, your life starts changing. When you start transforming and renewing your mind, things start looking at differently. So when you see a hater in a room, you know it's an op. It don't even bother you. It's cool that they're there because you already know who you are. Because you can't have my energy. You can't steal my peace. You can't steal my joy. It's different. That's how you transform. Now that, got you, bang, 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 bang. You ain't never heard Transformers like that.
Right.
Tight line, you know? So in your transformation from, your 5, 10, 15, 20-year-old self, right? It's been transformations. How have you transformed from when you were younger dealing with things to where you are right now dealing with things? How have you transformed? How have you renewed your mind? What does your transformation look like?
There's just one answer for me. It's the relationship I have with Christ.
See?
Because you build on that, just like a human. Like the longer I know you, the more intimate I am with a person, the more we talk. I know you better, right? So it's the same thing. So when you're going through life, the one thing I can say today that is obviously different from 20 is I have more experience with him. I have more life experience walking through life stuff with him.
Come on now.
So it changes how you view things. It changes your confidence. It changes your trust level, to get through certain things. It literally molds and shapes how you approach life. So I have now I'm 20 something years in, I would say 25 years in. So at this point, it's like I'm good. If I hit a bump or I go through a struggle
you
or
handle
something
it differently.
I'm good. He's had me back in 2018, back in 2015, back in 2010, and it's just funny because this is one of the cute things or little jewels that I've noticed that
Talk about it. Give us one of them gems. Give us one of them gems. Come on now.
Let me tell you, now for just to be wise, there's nothing majorly big in my storage. There's nothing that's super, but for me, it's valuable.
That's what I mean.
This is the thing. The paperwork, stuff like that, it's a reminder of all the things God brought me through. So it's a project to really organize certain things. I found police reports.
I got some. Don't feel bad. I got some too. I got jumped by the police, so I get it. So I get it. I understand.
You get it. So when I was going through it, I had recently moved, and when I was going through the stuff, I was like, oh my God, I totally forgot about this. Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Timeline, your timeline of all the events that you've been through. Like if you really sit back, it is 2025. Do y'all know how lucky y'all are to be here right now? Somebody, somewhere in the world just took their last breath. Why are you still here? What's so special about you? You see how we took today for granted because we expected to be here? But you got planes falling out the sky. You got people turning down Bourbon Street, running over people. You got people being shot. What was so special about you that you got to take your next breath? And I figure that once we start learning how to be present with our present, things will be different. I said it one more time, a little slower. You have to learn how to be present with your present. What does that mean? Well, the fact that you got to see today is a gift. It's a present. But are you present to your present of today, right now? The breath that you just took, the opportunity that you get, just to be able to tell somebody, I'm sorry, forgive me, I love you. these are things we take for granted. That's why, Krista, I never understood funerals.
Right.
Funerals piss me off.
I hear you.
Because at funerals, all of a sudden, we want to do the shoulda, coulda, wouldas that didn't, right?
Right.
Even in funerals, we're selfish. Well, I wish I would have did this. Well, why didn't you do it?
I hear you.
Now, you see, now the funeral ain't even about the person. It's about what you didn't do.
Right.
When you have the opportunity today to sit back and say, hey, I'm sorry. Right. I love you. Forgive me. My bad. We have so many opportunities right now that we take for granted because we're not present to being present.
Right.
See, we understand human beings, right? Because we're a human being, right? And then to be human being, that means being, you need to be present. And if you're being present, that means you need to be present to the gift of today. And if you're present to the gift of today, then it's okay to say, I messed up, I made a mistake. You can recognize the things that you do wrong, but also at the same time, you can recognize the opportunity of all the gifts and opportunities that you have. Like I was in any show, right? When we on the show and we be cooking or whatever else, and I say, go to the camera. If you died today, would you get an A+ on life's report card? And only you know the answer to that question. But if not, and you're blessed to see tomorrow, you better live like it's extra credit because tomorrow's not promised. We're all 6 degrees of separation from loving each other. But we choose to be addicted to poison. But every day that you wake up is an opportunity to change your future. So what are you waiting for? You should be great with every breath you take. Because it could be your last. So I'm proud of you, sis. Like you have conquered so many storms in your life. You are still present today. You still get to take your next breath. Not only are you an actress, you're an author just as well. You're an amazing mother. You are still an amazing spirit. Not only did you not let the storms get the best of you, but now you are a lighthouse in the midst of the storms for all the lost boats at sea. And you want to be a blessing to help people fall back in love so they can get married with purpose.
Yes, that's it.
That is dope.
Thank you.
That is amazing. Because sometimes in 2025, y'all can quote me if I'm wrong, do y'all still believe in love? Do y'all really still believe in love? Do y'all still believe in courting men? Do we still believe in courting women? Do we still believe in the late night phone calls, hey, you sleep? Do we still understand getting to know each other? Do we still understand battles? I've been divorced. I done been through it. That's me keeping it 100. That's something I'm still working on, still understanding. It's been a weak spot in my life that I still have to continue to get better at. So I'm not acting as if I got it all. I want to learn. I need to read the book so that way I can learn. You can only do better when you know better and learn from your mistakes. I've failed. You feel me? So that's just me keeping it 100 with you. I ain't going to sit up here and act like because it's my podcast I'm perfect. Because I'm not. I don't have my failures. So there's a lot of things that I could possibly learn in the book. If I want to do better, you got to do something different. So I can't say I want something different in my life if I keep showing up the same day, waking up the same way I woke up yesterday.
Yeah.
Last gem I'm going to give y'all before I let Krista cook. You are where you are right now in life, in this moment, on purpose. If Instagram has an algorithm and we created Instagram, that means it's made in our image. That means people have algorithms. The things that you go through happen to you from all of your decisions of yesterday. And if you don't like where you are today, you need to look at the game tape of your life, like when Krista was talking about looking at all the receipts and looking at all the things that she's been through and all the, you know what I'm saying? When you start looking at that timeline of life, because you're born, you die. The question is, what are you going to do in the meantime? So when you really start evaluating that timeline to where you are, it hits different. Because then you can start seeing the things in your blind spot. Shout out to my bro, Amir Sudaman. He says, I'm going to remix it a little bit. Do you not know that death has mounted its steed? And it has been chasing you since the day you were born. The question is, will it find you in your purpose or your excuses? Hello? Do you not know that death has mounted its steed? And it has been chasing you since the day you were born. The question is, will death find you in your purpose or your excuses? I choose to be caught in my purpose. And the only way to do that is to make sure that I'm living on purpose in my purpose. Straight like that. Krista, what final advice do you have for some of these people? Give them some good advice that you have for them. Whether it's about the actress, whether it's about the book.
Yeah, I would say, and I'm going to say this because of the culture.
Talk to them. Yeah, you're good.
So, all right. So, yeah, there is so much stuff. There's so much information and media out there that is not designed to help you regardless of the title. So in order to discern what's real, what's not, what's good, what's bad, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You have to start developing that one-on-one relationship with God. It doesn't have to be from 0 to 100 overnight. It's a gradual thing. You're not going to go from living one way to holier than thou overnight. You're going to gradually change, but just know that that is the foundation to live in the times that we're living in and experience the life that he wants you to experience. Because if you don't start learning how to consume the word and be able to really discern what's him and what's not, you can get sucked into the noise and the things that are being put out here to get you off the course of God. It's not going to say, hey, I want to get you off the will of God, so approach men like this and take my advice on how I'm living to start to deal with men the way I'm dealing with them. Whatever it is, at the end of the day, you got to understand that you have an enemy, and there's going to be good advice, and there's ungodly advice, and there's godly advice. The Bible even talks about there's different types of wisdom. Nobody really talks about that scripture. It's in my book, but there's different types of wisdom. You have godly wisdom. You have this, deceptive.
And what's the name of the book again? What's the name of the book again? Show the book off. Show the book off. Let them know.
Yeah. It's God's Divine Plans for Marriage, a guide to understanding people as wants, needs, and desires. And with this book, you'll be able to discern who's who and what's what. Because you're going to have some new information, new knowledge to transform, like we were talking about, so that you can discern that. You're not going to discern that. And trust me, you're not going to be able to discern that by watching a bunch of YouTube videos about relationships, about marriage, because I'm going to tell you from a person who is always watching, there's a lot of stuff out there that is not God. It's not God. There's a lot of experts out there that are not of God, and they will get you off course, and they will steer you in the wrong direction outside of his will of God, which is the thing that you're looking for in the first place. I say it in the book, but a lot of people, the one thing we all have in common is we're always searching for the will of God. We may not articulate it that way. We call it, we just want to do the right thing. We just want to live a good life. But what you're really saying is you want to live in the will of God, which is the best experience you can have, even with the ups and downs. So, because you're covered in those ups and downs. So just know, get godly advice, get godly wisdom if you want to succeed in this life according to God's definition of success. And God's definition of success is living out your purpose, doing the assignments that he has called you to do, completing what he has called you to complete on this earth. That is destiny. It's not because we're in a different time. I grew up in an era where we were transitioning from pre-internet to full-on internet. So we didn't have all this consumption. We didn't have all these people.
All that information, yeah.
And there's pros and cons to that. So there's the con is, if I would have had me back in the day, or some of the wonderful teachers out there, I probably would have went a different route when it came to choosing a mate for marriage. I'm glad I didn't. And I know that God allows everything to happen according, he still allows all things to work together for your good because I love him. That's not automatic. You have to love him. And so he allowed that because he knew after the fire, I would come out with this passion and compassion to see people experience marriage that he ordained. And I'm going to say whatever he tells me to say, go wherever he tells me to go, and get his message out there to give him glory, because he wants to bring these couples together so that you can accomplish together what he wants to bring to this earth. And what he wants to get glory from through you guys. And you're so much power. You're powerful. If he's called you to marriage, you're going to be so powerful as a unit, as a team. You're going to accomplish way more. Men, women, women, because there's this big misconception, you know, and it's not anybody's fault. It's the times we live in. I tell you, I grew up in it too. The whole independent era was around, not the change from 99 on to like maybe 2006, whatever, where, you know, you had the Destiny Childs, the independent songs, all that stuff, right?
Shout out to Destiny Child, shout out to Beyonce, Michelle,
and
Kelly, shout out to y'all.
Yeah, and we were on that. We were on that independent woman, and it's great if you know the balance. But if you take it and you go to
wait, time out. If you know the what?
Balance. Yes. If you take.
That's a gem.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a gem. You gotta have balance. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being independent, but you just gotta know the balance.
Yes.
And I feel like too much of anything could be a bad thing. Just like with the internet, too much of anything can be a bad thing. You gotta have the yin and yang and find the balance.
Yes.
Shout out to my independent women out there.
But there's so much noise out there again that if you consume the wrong information, you internalize it, you will take it to the extreme. And you'll think, okay, you know, I don't need a man, blah, 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 blah. I make this amount of money, then they honestly don't even care about that. So you'll get these misconceptions in your mind that will actually delay what God is trying to do in your life. Delay because of your own soul, your own mind, will, intellect, imagination, emotions. Is going to keep you away from what God intended for you to experience. So my biggest thing is just, you have to get in the Word to discern what's God and what's not, because we are all bombarded with a smorgasbord of information these days. Yeah. And if you cannot discern what's Him and what's not, you can take in that ungodly advice and just be stagnant in your life. Yeah. So,
look, that's Miss Krista.
Yeah.
Yo, I appreciate it. First of all, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for your success. You got a new film you're working on too, right?
Yes.
Can you give a little preview about it?
Okay, yes, a little quick preview. JIA is going to be streaming on all platforms coming out this year, and there will be a part 2 that we're going to start working on as well.
What does that stand for, JIA?
JIA.
Does it stand for anything, or is it just JIA?
It's J.I.A.
Okay.
And
That's okay. Hey, look, so hey, shout that out.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I got a new film coming out too. Check out Clicker. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be dropping real soon. Shout out to the big bro P who in the film. You know what I'm saying? I got to play P's bodyguard in that joint. So it's my first feature film that I got to debut in. So shout out to the big bro. Love you, P. Keep doing your thing. Keep being a trendsetter. Just want to shout you out, Master P. You're so amazing. You've done so much for the culture and our people. Just want to make sure I show love. I'm going to get you on the show one day, big bro. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to vibe out like that.
Yes, thank you.
Krista, if anybody wants to purchase the book, or if they want to find you, can you give us your social media, and can you let us know where we can purchase the book?
Yes, thank you. So yes, you can find the book is on godsdivineplansformarriage.com. You can buy it. It's also on Amazon, or you can buy it direct through me. And then it's also on I have a publishing company called Innate Dreams Publishing. So you can find it on there, innatedreamspublishing.com, and it will lead you to the links on Amazon as well. If you're a writer, if you're someone who feel like you have a gift from God, then you're inspired to write, reach out to me. I would love to help mentor you, motivate you, you know, even assist you putting your book out independently or with my publishing company. It's up to you.
Give us a publishing company again.
It's Innate Dreams Publishing.
Can you spell that out so they don't know how to spell it?
Innate, and it's on here too.
It's on the book.
INNATE Dreams. DREAMS Publishing. So if you go to that.com, you'll find more information, and you can link up with me as well.
Okay.
My social on YouTube is Bold Krista Nicole. True for the soul.
Hey, talk your talk.
And then also my Instagram is Bold Krista Nicole. My TikTok is Bold Krista Nicole. It's _bold_Krista_Nicole _vid. So yeah.
Girl, you want to spell that out one time, because that's a lot. That's a lot.
But yeah, search Bold Krista Nicole. They'll all come up. So yeah.
That part. So I am your host, King Jaquel Martin. This is another episode of Whispering to Your Soul. Y'all make sure y'all continue to tap in. I'm going to continue bringing y'all some amazing, authentic stories. I am here once again with my amazing actress from Twitter Fingers, the one, the only, Krista.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all tap in with your boy too. Y'all can find me at King Jaquel Martin. That's KingJaquelMartin. Or you can tap in to Whisper Into Your Soul. You feel me? Tap in. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, show some love. We're going to be dropping a series. I'm going to do 25 interviews. You're going to be able to see us on all streaming platforms straight like that. It's about to be lit. It's the takeover season, man. Walk into your blessing or go get it yourself. You feel me? Holla at your boy. You did it. Whisper Into Your Soul.